Good morning, children. Sairam. Welcome to your political science online session. Children, today we will continue with lesson number 4, Social and Political Movements, part 3, and this is the concluding part of this lesson. Now, children, in last class, we had discussed about tribal movement and farmers movement in India. Now, let us see some more movements. Labor movement, or you can say trade union movement. Now, children, labor movement, it emerged in the background of industrialization, that is when more and more industries were established in our country. Textile industry, railway companies, they were established in India in the latter half of 19th century. So the labor movement, it had emerged in the background of industrialization, that is when the industries were established, or you can say when the industries started in our country during the British rule. Then there were many industries like textile industry, railway companies. I mean, they were started in India in the latter half of 19th century. Now, children, in the year 1899, railway workers, they went on strike for their demands. However, the first organization for resolving the issues of workers was established in 1920, and this organization is known as All India Trade Union Congress, that is AITUC, All India Trade Union Congress. So children, in 1899, that is when we won the British rule, the railway workers, they had went on strike for their demands. They were not happy when they were working under the Britishers. So the first organization for resolving the issues of workers was started in 1920. So just have a look, children. This was a railway workers strike, okay? So then the issues of the workers, to solve the issues of the workers, the first organization, it was established in 1920, and this organization is known as All India Trade Union Congress, that is AITUC. Now children, Lala Lajpat Rai, he was a president of AITUC, that is All India Trade Union Congress, and it was established in 1920. Now children, in the post-independence period, labor movement started working more effectively. That is when we got independence, this movement, that is labor movement, it started working more and more effectively and efficiently. In 1960s and 1970s, labor movement organized several agitations. There were a lot of problems of workers, so they had organized several agitations, several protests, okay. Children, from 1980s, labor movement started getting disintegrated. It means divided. So from 1980s, labor movement, it started getting divided, and even globalization has affected the labor movement to a great extent. Children, in your previous classes, I've explained to you what is globalization. It is a process of integration and interaction among people, among the companies and government worldwide. So globalization has also affected the labor movement to a great extent. Now let us see what are the problems faced by workers. Now the problems faced by workers are unstable employment conditions. It means their jobs are not fixed. They always have the fear of losing their jobs. So unstable employment conditions means they are not permanent, okay? Therefore it is unstable. Then contract labor. Now children, contract labor means the services, they are hired for a particular period. That is, they have to sign the contract for 1 year or 2 years, and after that the management, they can throw the people, right? So that is contract labor. The services are hired for only some period of time. Then financial insecurity. Now financial insecurity means, suppose when we work in any organization or any institution, there are certain provident funds or certain gratuity funds. So that gives a security to the person. That is when they get retired. So all these will be used. Okay, it will be useful for them. So financial insecurity means, suppose all these facilities are not available. So that is, they have financial insecurity. Absence of legal protection for workers. So suppose just now I explained to you about the contract labor, that the services are hired for 1 year or 2 years, and after that they can be thrown off from their job. So if it is done, so there's no legal protection available for workers. Then unlimited working hours, okay, they are paid less and they are asked to work for more, asked to work for more time, that is unlimited working hours, that is exploitation of the workers. Then insecurity at workplace. Insecurity at workplace, suppose if the conditions are not good, suppose you are working at a chemical factory, so there are health hazards, like people those who are working in chemical factories, they could later on develop diseases and all. So insecurity at workplace. So sometimes it's, suppose if any accident takes place, so there should be compensation which should be provided by the management. So there are some insecurities at workplace. Then health hazards, I explained to you, suppose someone works in a place where there are health hazards, like in chemical factories and all. So it can lead to diseases like diseases of lungs and what not problems the workers might be facing. So these are the problems which are faced by the workers, that is unstable employment conditions, contract labor, financial insecurity, absence of legal protection for workers, unlimited working hours, insecurity at the workplace, and health hazards. So these are the problems faced by the workers. Now let us learn about women's movement. So children, what are the aims of women's movement? Eliminating injustice against women and ending their exploitation. Help them to lead a respectful life and participate actively in social life. So children, you know, in the pre-independence period, there were a lot of, we can say, injustice against the women. So they were deprived of their right to education. They were not given right to vote. Okay, so eliminating injustice against women and ending their exploitation, that is, these are the aims of women's movement. Then they should also have a right to lead a respectful life, and they should participate actively in social life, that is, they should also have the right to education, right to vote. Okay, whatever facilities are available for men, same facilities should be available for women too. Okay, Ishwarchand Vidyasagar, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Savitribai Phule, Maharishi Dondo Keshav Karve, Pandita Ramabai, Ramabai Ranade took initiative in ending the practice of sati and child marriages. So children, these were great social reformers: Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Rajaram Mohan Roy, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Savitribai Phule, Maharishi Dondo Keshav Karve, Pandita Ramabai, Ramabai Ranade. These all had taken initiative in ending the practice of sati and child marriages. So children, you know what is the practice of sati, that when husband dies, so the wife, she has to jump in that fire, and then she has to sacrifice her life. So all such practices, all such evil practices were existing in the pre-independence period. So these all social reformers have taken initiative to stop these practice of sati and child marriages. So we should always be thankful to these social reformers that now we are living a better life or a dignified life. So the leaders, just have a look: Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Mahatma Phule, Savitribai Phule. You know about, they had worked for the education of girls. Then Maharishi Dondo Keshav Karve, Pandita Ramabai and Ramabai Ranade. Okay. Now children, there were certain reforms such as widow remarriage, women education, and right to vote to women were possible due to the work of these reformists. So children, because of these reformers, there were a lot of changes which were brought, because change is the law of nature. So reforms such as widow remarriage, that is, the widows, they were also given right to marry again. Then education of women, which they were deprived of, and right to vote, so that they also can, that is, women also can actively participate in the social affairs. So okay, so these things had, these changes had been brought because of these reformers. After independence, the constitution gave equal rights to women in all the fields. Now children, as I told you, there were the facilities should be equal for both men and women. So equal pay, equal work. So that also very important, you should know that if the work is equal for both men and women, they should be paid same. So equal pay for equal work. In the later period, women participated to a great extent in the movements against corruption, caste discrimination, and religious extremism, which made them aware of injustice against their own selves. So women, they started taking initiative in organizing against injustice. So now even they have started organizing themselves against injustice, because when they started participating in the movements against corruption, then caste discrimination, religious extremism, they came, which made them aware that what injustice is done against their own selves. So they started taking initiative and they organized themselves against injustice. Women's movement at various levels are taking up issues like women's health, social security, financial independence, and empowerment. So, what are the issues taken up? One is the women's health, okay? Social security should be given to women, financial independence, and empowerment. We always talk about women empowerment, right? Today, women's movement face a challenge of equal education for women and giving women a status and prestige as human beings. So children, as I told you that we have all got our rights, like right to education, right to vote. Okay, so it has given us a status and a dignified life and also prestige as human beings. Now women are no longer considered as inferior, that men are superior, women are inferior. It's not like that. All are equal in eyes of law. Now let us proceed next, that is environment movements. Environmental movements in India. We have to protect our environment, right? Children, if you remember in 9th standard you have learnt about Chipko movement. Yes, so Chipko movement, that is these women, they have encircled themselves around the trees, so they were not allowing the people to cut the trees. So we are aware that environmental degradation is a serious problem at national and international level. So children, this is a international problem, this is a global problem. So environmental degradation is a global problem. So at international level, several movements are working to stop the deterioration of the environment. So there are various movements which are taking place in international level, or you can say at a global level basically, to stop the pollution or whatever environmental degradation is going on. And we see a significant international cooperation in this field. That is everywhere these movements, that is environmental movements, are going on. Children, just have a look. That is for the climate movements, okay, for protecting the climate. That is the whatever problems are environmental problems. So to stop all these environmental problems, these are the movements which are going on in at a worldwide scale, okay. Now, what are the issues taken up by environment movements? Protection of biodiversity, that is you have to protect all the species, that is flora and fauna. Protecting different sources of water, you have to take care of cleanliness of water. Then protection of forest, green belt, pollution of rivers, use of chemicals and their ill effects, etc. So these are the issues taken up by environment movements, that is protection of biodiversity, protecting different sources of water, protection of forest, green belt, and pollution of rivers, use of chemicals and their ill effects. So these are the issues taken up by environment movements. Now children, here very important, we have to learn about Dr. Rajendra Singh Rana. Very important his contribution. Let us learn. Now children, Dr. Rajendra Singh Rana, also known as Waterman of India. Very important children. You always get objective type questions. Okay, he is known as the Waterman of India. He has brought water revolution in Rajasthan. So we'll see what revolution he had brought in Rajasthan. He became famous because of building Johar in Rajasthan. He revived rivers in desert of Rajasthan. He formed an organization, Tarun Bharat Sangh, which worked for building 11,000 Johar in hundreds of villages. All over India, he started a campaign for water conservation, revival of rivers, forest conservation, and wildlife conservation. His social movement is active for last 31 years. He won the Stockholm Water Prize, an award known as the Nobel Prize for Water. So children, Dr. Rajendra Singh Rana, also known as Waterman of India, has brought water revolution in Rajasthan. Now children, he became famous because of building thousands of johars in Rajasthan. Now children, johar means basically it is a rainwater storage tank which stores water throughout the year, so it could be used for different purposes. So he revived rivers, he worked on improvement of rivers, cleaning of rivers, okay, in desert of Rajasthan. He formed an organization known as Tarun Bharat Sangh, which worked for building 11,000 johars in hundreds of villages. All over India, he started a campaign for water conservation, revival of rivers, forest conservation, and wildlife conservation. And this movement is active for last 31 years. And he has also won the Stockholm Water Prize, an award known as the Nobel Prize for Water. So children, very important, Dr. Rajendra Singh Rana, Waterman of India, okay, and he's a recipient of award known as Nobel Prize for Water. Now children, let us learn about consumer movement. Now children, consumer movement, it emerged in India after Consumer Protection Act came into existence in 1986. It is known as Consumer Protection Act of 1986. And this movement has a broad objective. Now this movement believes that each member of society is a consumer. Now children, consumer is the king of the market, okay. The movement believes that each member of society is a consumer. And due to the changing nature of social and economic system, consumers face different problems. We'll see what are the problems faced by consumers. So this children consumer movement, it emerged in India after Consumer Protection Act of 1986. Okay. Now let us see what are the problems faced by consumers. Now adulteration, increased cost of items, frauds in weights and measures. Now children, adulteration means basically when any food or any drug is made worse by adding something to it. Now for example, milk, okay, what they do, they add water in milk, so that is adulteration. So the quality of the product is being harmed, or you can say that is we don't get good quality, so they add something to it. So for example, colors and all are added, so that is adulteration. That is the quality is getting harmed. So increased cost of items, so same item at different prices, then that is increased cost of items. Frauds in weights and measures, so these are the problems which are faced by consumers. The movements increase the participation of people in public life. The post 1980 movements are called neo-social movements, as their nature is different from the earlier movements. These movements are issue based. It means they try to organize issue-based mass movements. Now children, the movements we had discussed that participation of people is very important. So the movements increase the participation of people in public life. Now children, when we had the freedom movement, in that all the people, they used to come together, okay, and they had fought against the Britishers, they had protested against the Britishers, so everybody had come together. So in the post 1980 movements are called neo-social movements, as their nature is different from the earlier movements. So they are issue based, okay, they are working on a particular issue. So it means that they try to organize issue based mass movements, that is people, they have to come together, they have to try to resolve the problems, and then they will pressurize the government and get their problems solved, okay. So that is, we had discussed about what are movements, then why movements are necessary, and we had discussed about different movements in India, that is farmers movement, then tribal movement, workers movement, women's movement, then environment movement and consumer movement. So children, I hope you have understood this lesson, revise this lesson, okay, and remember you have to write all your answers in points. I hope you have understood this lesson, children. Thank you, my dear students. Take care of yourself. Sai Ram.